All right, so today we're going to be taking a deep dive into something really cool.
Yeah.
We're going to be exploring the music of Quentin Tarantino's films.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so you reached out.
Huge fan.
Yeah, I figured as much. And you sent over some fascinating sources.
Of course.
We have his Wikipedia entry. We've got some articles on music from Reservoir Dogs and the Hateful Eight, and a whole book called A Tarantino Tapestry.
Love it.
Yeah, so you really want to understand how he curates these amazing soundtracks.
Yeah, I mean, his music is just so iconic.
It is.
It's like you can't imagine those movies without that music.
Absolutely.
Like you hear those songs and you're like, oh, that's from that movie.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you've also challenged us to rank his top 20 songs.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be tough.
Which, let me tell you, is no easy feat, but I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
But before we jump into the musical showdown,
Right.
I think it's important to understand where Tarantino's love for these soundtracks comes from.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, like his background, his biography is pretty interesting.
It is really interesting.
What do you think?
I mean, this isn't just some film school prodigy.
Right?
You know, like Tarantino's early life was steeped in pop culture.
Yeah.
Not necessarily like highbrow cinema. He worked at Video Archives, a video rental store, soaking up everything.
So cool.
From like B movies to foreign classics.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
It's almost like he was absorbing all these different influences, like a sponge.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Totally. Yeah, and he wove it all into this cinematic tapestry.
Exactly.
Yeah. And you can't forget his brief acting stint on The Golden Girls.
Oh my God, yes.
Which may seem like a random trivia tidbit.
It does.
But it kind of speaks to his willingness to just explore different creative avenues.
Right.
And maybe even like his fascination with blending the unexpected.
Absolutely.
She does a lot.
He really does, yeah. And speaking of blending the unexpected, let's talk about his writing process.
Yeah.
It's not really what you'd expect from, like, Hollywood screenwriting.
No, it's true.
You know?
He actually writes his screenplays like novels first.
Really?
Which is really fascinating. He crafts these detailed narratives and then translates them into scenes.
Wow.
Yeah, it's almost a literary approach to filmmaking.
That's so interesting.
I think it informs how he approaches music as well.
Mm-hmm.
He's not just adding songs like as an afterthought.
Right.
They're woven into the fabric of the story.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah.
And the book, A Tarantino Tapestry, actually refers to each song as a carefully chosen piece of the puzzle.
I love that.
Which I think is such a great analogy.
It is.
But how does he make these sometimes obscure tracks, often from really specific genres, work so seamlessly within his narratives?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, let's take Reservoir Dogs as an example.
Okay.
So the film is steeped in 70s nostalgia, from the fashion to the dialogue.
Right.
And the soundtrack is no different. It's full of classic rock and soul tracks that instantly transport you back to that era. You know?
Absolutely. And it's not just about nostalgia.
Right.
He uses the music to subvert expectations.
Yes.
So, for example, Stuck in the Middle with You.
Yeah.
It's a seemingly upbeat pop song.
Yeah, such a fun song.
Right. But when you juxtapose that with that infamous ear-cutting scene.
Oh, yeah.
It becomes something else entirely.
Absolutely.
It's disturbing. It's darkly comedic. It's unforgettable.
It is.
You know?
He understands the power of contrast.
He does.
You know, he uses familiar songs in these unexpected ways.
Right.
And it creates a kind of dissonance that makes the audience sit up and take notice.
Yes.
You know, and he did something similar in Pulp Fiction with Miss Earloo.
Oh, yeah?
A surf rock classic.
I love that opening scene.
It's so good.
It sets the tone for the whole film.
It does.
Cool, edgy, a bit retro, and definitely dangerous.
Yeah.
It's pure Tarantino.
It is.
And it's a great example of how he draws from these genres he loves.
Yeah.
Like surf rock.
Yeah.
And even spaghetti westerns. And gives them this like modern twist.
Yeah.
You know?
He's like a musical archaeologist.
I love that.
Unearthing these gems and giving them new life within his films.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
And speaking of spaghetti westerns.
Oh, yeah.
We can't talk about Tarantino soundtracks without mentioning his collaboration with Ennio Morricone.
Right.
For the Hateful Eight.
Oh, Morricone.
Yeah.
The maestro of spaghetti western scores.
Yes.
I mean, this was a match made in cinematic heaven.
It really was.
Tarantino admired him for years.
I bet.
And finally, the composer agreed to work with him.
That's amazing.
It is.
It must have been a dream come true for Tarantino.
I'm sure.
So how did Morricone's score differ from the typical Tarantino soundtrack?
Well, so while Tarantino often relies on existing tracks,
Right.
Morricone composed an original score for The Hateful Eight.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a haunting atmospheric score
Mm-hmm.
that perfectly captures the film's sense of isolation and impending doom.
Yeah, it's really different than his other soundtracks.
It is a departure from his usual style.
It is, but it's still undeniably Tarantino.
Yes.
And its dramatic flair and its ability to just heighten that emotional tension.
Absolutely. Morricone's score adds this layer of grandeur and epic scope
Yeah.
that perfectly complements the film's Western setting.
Yes.
You know, it's a testament to Tarantino's ability to adapt his approach while staying true to his vision.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, are you ready to tackle this top 20 list?
I am.
Because I think it's time we dive into like the heart of Tarantino's musical world
Yes.
and try to rank some of his most iconic needle drops.
All right, let's do it.
What do you think?
But I warn you, this is going to be tough.
Oh, I know.
Every Tarantino song choice feels so deliberate,
Right.
almost destined to be part of his films.
It's true.
Yeah,
I know, right? But that's what makes it so much fun.
it does.
So why don't we start by grouping these songs thematically?
Okay.
Might give us some insight into his thought process.
Okay.
Maybe songs that heighten tension, songs that create ironic contrast, and even songs that reveal character depth.
I like that.
What do you think?
I like that approach because it goes beyond just listing favorites.
Yes.
It forces us to really analyze how he uses music to tell his stories.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Okay, so let's kick off this Tarantino soundtrack showdown
Okay.
with the category of songs that heighten tension.
Oh, I love this.
Yeah. These are the tracks that get your heart racing, your palms sweating, and make you lean in just a little closer to the screen.
Okay, so for this category,
Yeah.
I have to go with Stuck in the Middle with You from Reservoir Dogs.
Oh, good one.
It's already become a bit of a pop culture phenomenon, right?
It has. It's a perfect example of how Tarantino can take, like, a seemingly innocent pop song and turn it into something sinister.
Yes.
You know?
Like that cheerful melody.
Yeah.
And those lighthearted lyrics
Yeah.
become almost unbearable when juxtaposed against the violence of that scene.
It's true.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting how, like, he plays with our expectations.
Yes.
Making us complicit in the discomfort.
Exactly. And for that reason,
Yeah.
I also think Cat People Putting Out Fire by David Bowie
Oh, yes.
from Inglorious Basterds
Oh, such a good one.
deserves a spot in this category.
Absolutely. That pulsating synth Bowie's haunting vocals.
Yes.
It creates this palpable sense of unease.
Yes.
Mirroring the tension and danger that Shazana is constantly facing.
Yes. It's a slow burn, that song.
Yeah.
But it builds to this incredible climax.
It does.
Much like the film itself.
Totally.
Okay, so for a completely different vibe,
Yeah.
but still within the tension category,
Okay.
I have to include Comanche
Yeah.
by Davey Allen and the Arrows from Kill Bill 1.
Ah, yes. The quintessential Tarantino surf rock
Yes.
meets spaghetti western fusion.
I love it.
That twanging guitar riff is pure adrenaline,
It's so good.
perfectly capturing the bride's relentless pursuit of revenge.
Yeah.
It's like the soundtrack to a high-octane car chase, even though the scene itself is a duel in a snow-covered garden.
Yes, it's that unexpected blend of genres that just keeps you on the edge of your seat.
It does. And speaking of unexpected blends,
Yes.
how can we forget Battle Without Honor or Humanity by Tomoyasu Hotei,
Oh, yes.
also from Kill Bill Vol. 1?
Yes.
I mean, that iconic guitar riff
So good.
is instantly recognizable.
It is.
It's the ultimate fight anthem, you know, blending Eastern influences with rock energy.
Yes.
It perfectly encapsulates the film's over-the-top action sequences and its homage to samurai cinema.
Yes.
It's a track that just stays with you long after the credits roll.
It does.
Now let's shift gears a little bit and delve into the category of songs that create ironic contrast.
Oh, this is good. I
Yeah.
love this.
Tarantino is a master of using music to subvert expectations.
He is.
And create these darkly comedic moments.
Yes.
You know?
Girl, You'll Be a Woman Soon by Urge Overkill.
Oh, yeah.
In Pulp Fiction, for me, that's like the epitome of this category.
That's a good one. It's a sweet, almost innocent love song.
Yeah.
But knowing what happens after Mia Wallace puts on that record,
Right.
it takes on a whole new meaning.
Totally. It's like dramatic irony.
Yeah.
The audience knows what's coming, and the music becomes like this harbinger of impending doom.
Right?
But it's still kind of funny.
Yeah, it's unsettling but strangely humorous.
Yes.
It is.
And it showcases Tarantino's fascination with the 70s.
Yes.
Like, he often uses music from that era
Yeah.
to create that sense of nostalgia,
Uh-huh.
but then twists it
Yeah.
to serve his own narrative purposes.
Right.
It's genius.
It's so smart.
And another great example is Hold on, I'm coming by Sam and Dave.
Oh, yes.
Also from Pulp Fiction.
Right?
Classic soul anthem about love and devotion.
Right.
Yet it plays during a scene involving a bloody shootout and a drug overdose.
It's true. The juxtaposition is jarring, almost shocking.
Yeah.
But it works because it highlights the absurdity of the situation.
Yes, you're laughing one minute, then cringing the next.
Yeah.
It's pure Tarantino.
Pure Tarantino, and for a more subtle example of ironic contrast,
Okay.
I would include Didn't I Blow Your Mind This Time by the Delphonics?
Oh, yeah.
From Jackie Brown.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful soul ballad that plays during a seemingly romantic scene between Jackie and Max Cherry.
Right.
But knowing their ulterior motives,
Right.
you know?
It just adds this layer of deception and hidden agendas.
It does.
Yeah.
It's like nothing is what it seems in Tarantino's world.
Exactly.
And the music often reflects that.
Yes. And for a final entry in this category,
Okay.
let's not forget Little Green Bag by the George Baker selection
Oh, yes.
from Reservoir Dogs.
Yes.
That slow motion walk synchronized to the music.
So iconic.
Right. It's pure cinematic cool.
It is.
But it's also incredibly ironic.
It is.
Like these guys are about to embark on a violent heist.
Yeah.
And they're strutting like they're in a music video.
I know. It's brilliant. It's a send-up of gangster movie tropes.
Yeah.
And the music just helps sell that perfectly. Okay. Ready to move on to our final category.
I am. Let's do it.
Songs that reveal character depth.
Oh, yes.
These are the tracks that give us a glimpse into the souls of Tarantino's often complex and morally ambiguous characters.
Okay, so for this one,
Yeah.
I have to start with Across 110th Street by Bobby Womack,
Oh, good choice.
which is the theme song for Jackie Brown.
Yes.
It's a soul masterpiece that perfectly captures the film's gritty realism
Uh-huh.
and the world weariness of its characters.
It's a song about survival,
Yeah.
about navigating a world filled with danger and uncertainty.
Yes.
It sets the tone for the entire film
It does.
and gives us a deep understanding of Jackie Brown's struggles and resilience.
Yes, it's not just background music.
Right?
It's practically a character in itself.
It is.
And for a completely different vibe, but still within this category,
Yeah.
I'd include Son of a Preacher Man by Dusty Springfield
Oh, yeah.
from Pulp Fiction.
Yes. Love that song.
It plays during a rather unexpected moment of tenderness between Mia Wallace and Vincent Vega.
Right. It's a classic soul track,
Right.
but, it's a song about female empowerment,
Yes.
about owning your sexuality and defying expectations.
And it completely changes the way we perceive Mia.
Yeah.
We realize she's more than just a gangster's wife.
Right.
She's a complex individual
Yeah.
with her own desires and secrets.
Yeah, it's a reminder that Tarantino, despite his penchant for violence and spectacle,
Right.
is also a master of character development.
Yes.
He uses music to reveal hidden layers and create empathy for characters who might otherwise be unsympathetic. It's true, and for another example of music revealing character depth,
Okay.
we can't forget Unchained the Payback Untouchable by James Brown and Tupac
Oh, yeah.
from Django Unchained.
Good one.
Such a powerful choice.
It is.
It's a fusion of soul and hip-hop
Yeah.
that embodies Django's journey from enslaved man to vengeful liberator.
I like that.
It's a song about breaking free from oppression, and it adds this emotional weight to the film's themes of revenge and redemption.
It's like a modern-day spiritual,
Yeah,
capturing that spirit of rebellion and the fight for freedom.
it does. And speaking of rebellion,
Yes.
I think Let's Stay Together by Al Green
Oh, yes.
in Pulp Fiction deserves a mention here.
Yeah, it plays during a rather unexpected moment of tenderness between Vincent and Mia.
It does, right? It's this quiet moment of connection
Sure.
amidst the chaos and violence of their lives.
Yeah.
And it shows us that even these hardened criminals have a capacity for love and vulnerability.
Yeah, it's a reminder that Tarantino's characters are never one-dimensional.
Right.
They're full of contradictions,
Yeah.
capable of both great cruelty and surprising compassion.
It's true.
And I think You Never Can Tell by Chuck Berry
Oh, yeah.
from Pulp Fiction also kind of speaks to that.
Oh, absolutely. That one's pure joy.
It is.
Seeing Vincent and Mia dance to this classic rock and roll tune, it's a reminder that even in the darkest of times, there's still room for fun and spontaneity.
Absolutely.
It's a glimpse into their humanity.
Yeah.
A reminder that they're not just gangsters, they're people
Yes.
with dreams and desires.
It's a perfect example of how Tarantino uses music to create these moments of levity,
Right.
to remind us that even his most violent films are ultimately about human connection.
Yeah, and that's what makes his soundtrack so captivating.
Mm.
He's not just choosing songs, he's creating an emotional landscape
Yes.
that guides our experience of the film.
It's like each song is a brushstroke,
Yeah.
adding depth and texture to this overall canvas.
I love that.
And it all ties back to his love for cinema, right?
Totally.
Like he's not just referencing these songs,
Right.
he's paying homage to the films and genres that inspired him.
It's a celebration of cinematic history.
Yes.
A mixtape curated by a true cinephile.
I love that.
And it's what makes his work so endlessly fascinating.
All right, so we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have
But there are still so many iconic Tarantino tracks that we haven't even mentioned.
I know.
Bang Bang
I'm
by
geek.
Baby Shot Me Down by Nancy Sinatra.
Yes.
Jungle Boogie by Kool and the Gang.
Love it.
Hooked on a Feeling by Blue Swede.
So good.
Like the list goes on and on.
It does, and I think that's a testament to the breadth and depth of Tarantino's musical taste.
It is.
He's able to draw from such a wide range of genres and eras,
Yes.
and it all feels cohesive,
It does.
like part of his unique cinematic language.
Yes, so as you revisit Tarantino's films, and you inevitably will,
Oh, yeah.
pay attention to those music cues.
Yes.
They're not just there for ambiance. They're telling a story. They're revealing character and enhancing the emotional impact of every scene.
And remember, this is just our interpretation.
That's right.
You know, the beauty of Tarantino's soundtracks is that they invite multiple readings,
Yes.
and everyone will have their own favorites and connections.
Exactly. So what stood out to you? What are your top Tarantino tracks?
Yes, let us know.
Let us know, because we'd love to hear your take on this Sonic Odyssey.
For sure.
And with that, we conclude our deep dive into the musical world of Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah.
We hope you've enjoyed this journey into the mind of a cinematic master and that you've gained a deeper appreciation for the power of music and film.